every repo, every Cloud Posse module that we have in the module library, there is a README.md, which is this very common looking, not common looking, but very templated, always looking the same across all modules that you always see. And there is a README.yaml. And this README.yaml is really what defines the things that are different about this module and defines how to use it, how to, like, what badges it has, what related repositories are there, what's the description, and all that fun stuff. And then it gets composed with Terraform Docs to create the common Terraform Docs for anybody that doesn't know Terraform Docs. It's a project by, oh, they moved it to its own org. Anyway, Terraform Docs is what creates all this fun stuff. And now I think the
exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. So Terraform Docs creates the Terraform documentation, but then ultimately we stitch all of that together with a template tool called Gauntlet.
Yeah. So what I wanted to really show was the Gauntlet stuff is in the Cloud Posse build harness. And this is all driven by a make workflow. So if anybody has put up a PR against a Cloud Posse repo, we don't do it as much anymore because we automate it via GitHub Actions. But there is, a common theme that we would do was ask people to run make init and then make README. So what make init does is it copies the build harness into that repo that you're working in, and then make README actually goes and builds that README. So it's this way of encapsulating across all of the repos a central set of configuration or a central set of make targets that enable building that. So what make build does, and this is fun, but it runs Gauntlet, where it takes in a template file and it writes out the readme.md file. And if we go and look at that template file, Gauntlet is Go templates. Eric's talked about it a number of times, but it's basically a way to pull in multiple configurations, and very similar to like Jinja templates or Terraform templating. You have a file that you pass some configuration to, and then it creates a output file. So one of the things that is our input is in the repo, we refer to that readme.yaml. So in the Gauntlet template, we pull in the readme YAML as a data source named config, and then we're able to refer to that config to get the logo, or get if the package, if the module is deprecated, then we do a bunch of different information, or if we want to use the description, then we pull that. So this enables a bunch of templating around the same centralized README template. But the fun thing to parse through is, hey, how does that get added with the Terraform docs? So one of the key things there is this. There is a README deps makefile substitution here, where this is a pre-make target that gets run before README build. And what that does is that README deps is defined in each module that we run, that we have a Terraform module in. We override README deps to include building the Terraform.md target, docs/Terraform.md. So it will run, and I have the link for this. No, I don't. But it'll run another target. I think I might be doing a bad job of explaining this web, but there's a slight misdirection kind of going on here. Yeah. But yeah, this docs/Terraform.md will actually go and run Terraform docs, and it'll just output into the projects docs folder a Terraform.md file that's built off of this module. And then what Template does is it will pull in that Terraform.md, like it'll pull in that file and add it so that it is then, it's both a template from the README file as well as those Terraform docs that we're executing as all a part of that one make README target. So
go to the readme.yaml for a Terraform project. And then just search for, I think it's include or.
Oh yeah, it's includes.
Yeah. So here it just appends those files to this. To the README.
So basically,
file.
This guy pulls in from config. It'll pull in. If the config has an include, then it will go and loop through the files that it wants to include and just include them at this section via Template templating. So, yeah.
So the original impetus with this was, we have a few hundred repositories. Keeping our READMEs up to date was impossible. Standardizing them was just impossible. So that was one. But the other was that we wanted to keep the information, kind of the documentation about the module in a structured format within the repo so that we could fetch that programmatically from other places later on. So now we have this README YAML file, which is the structured data format that we can query from a centralized place. For example, centralizing our documentation, which is something else that we're working on as well. And the README YAML accomplishes that.
Yeah. There's also some cool stuff. There is one of the workflows is there. You'll see if you put up a new PR, it's likely in whatever this PR is, but you'll see the Cloud Posse bot, this guy, post an auto format. So the way that we, I was saying 6 months ago, we used to ask people to run make init, make README to try and keep this up to date. And then they would be responsible for adding that as a new commit and pushing it. But nowadays there is a GitHub workflow that automates that. So it kind of, as soon as you push new code, it'll go and check, hey, did they add a new variable that needs to be added to the Terraform docs, which then needs to be updated in the README.md. And it'll just do all of that automatically. So we don't need to ask people because asking people ended up being, error prone. I ran into issues when I first contributed to Cloud Posse probably 1.5 years ago, where I was like, this make thing does not work for me. I don't know what's going on. But yeah.
One less barrier to contributing.
Hey, Matt, this is Michael. Yeah.
Cool. What's up, Michael?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for going through this. And you actually already answered my question. I was going to ask if you had something that would, as part of a workflow, just like this, commit the code or commit the README back into the repo, as opposed to like forcing somebody to do it. So yeah, that's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll see this in all of the projects. And it's great. I didn't come up with any of this. Cloud Posse did it. I totally used the build harness pattern. I've definitely stolen some GitHub action code, but it's all very much reusable. Maybe tweak a few things, but not too bad.